So basically, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, is just what I've been telling y'all, but y'all ain't believe me. I told y'all that the situation with Gene Hackman and his wife was a blood sacrifice. I told y'all that they were murdered, and now the industry is trying to say that they died of natural causes. That's what they're trying to say. How? How do two people die of natural causes all of a sudden? And then they created a little storyline by claiming that the wife was already dead in the house, right? And Gene, he's dealing with Alzheimer's and various other things. And they want us to believe that he was just walking around the house while she dead. And then he just apparently just dropped dead too. And, so how the dog dead? See, nobody answered these questions, right? So the wife is dead. So the wife died, left a dog in some cage, and the dead body is there. No family visit, no friends, nobody visit. But then he died. I mean, they just be making up lies, man. I told y'all they were going to do this. I told y'all they were going to make up these lies about this situation. Another blood sacrifice ritual pretty much covered up. And yet, the truth has been hidden. I'm looking at TMZ right now. It says Gene Hackman died a week after wife's death. How could somebody just know that? They just be making up stories as they go, claiming he died of heart disease and she died of some other virus or whatever the case is. Never heard of these things, right? It says Gene Hackman died a full week after his wife, Betsy, died and lived in the house as her body lay in the bathroom. And this, according to New Mexico officials. I mean, they just made that up. They literally just made that up, But this is how, I expected this to be that way. It says New Mexico officials concluded Betsy died February 11th. And cause of death was some virus, hantavirus. I don't know what the heck that is, right? A serious rare disease which can be fatal, right? So that's how they're going to play it. Gene died February 17th. An autopsy revealed the 95-year-old had a history of cardiovascular disease along with advanced Alzheimer's. They threw the Alzheimer's in there so they could paint the narrative that she was dead and he had no idea she was in the house dead, right? That's what they want us to believe. He had a history of heart attacks and high blood pressure. Although the medical investigators did not use the words heart attack, it seemed they were going in that direction. Although the medical investigator said she could not squarely say that was the cause. They did say heart disease was the cause of death and Alzheimer's was a significant contributing factor. The sheriff says it appears Betsy's body was in the house for a week while Gene lived in the same house until his death a week later. Investigators made it clear Gene was in poor health and the Alzheimer's may have created confusion, which could explain why he never called authorities. Investigators say it's possible Gene did not know his wife had died because of the Alzheimer's. You see how convenient they made that? Sounds very convincing to people that are dumb and slow, but we the people, we're not slow. We could see right between the lines. It goes on, it says officials ruled out carbon monoxide and gas leaks. No, the only reason why you did that is because I made videos basically exposing that there's no way that could be possible, right? So they had to change up the story because I already covered the case. Just like I covered the case with, little Ronnie. You know what I mean? I'm the one who did the breakdown with the crime scene. I'm the one who told y'all the baby mama's involved. I'm the one who exposed the GoFundMe. I did pretty much all the investigating in all this case. I done all the work. Everybody else just regurgitate the things I talk about, So what we got here is There's no gas leak, no carbon monoxide. As for the dog that died, he had a procedure at a veterinarian. Man, get the fuck out of here. Now they're telling us that the damn dog had a medical procedure at a veterinarian now. I mean, they really think people stupid, fam. So now the dog had a so-called a procedure at a veterinarian clinic and was in a crate when found dead. Necropsy is pending. As we told you, Gene and his wife were found dead last week, along with one of their dogs in separate rooms. So the dog died, the wife died, the husband died, and all of them died of natural causes, right? That's what you want us to believe, right? That's what they want us to believe. I mean, they just made this whole thing up, guys. This whole story was made up. As we told you, Gene and his wife were found dead last week, along with one of their dogs in separate rooms at their mansion. A local security guard performing a welfare check dialed 911 after seeing Betsy's body on the floor near a locked interior door. I thought they said by the bathroom. They said she was inside the bathroom. That's what they said. Now she's by a locked interior door. Okay. Exterior door. All right. And pleaded with the dispatchers to send someone immediately. It's interesting how he's telling dispatchers to send someone immediately, but they told us that the front door was ajar, remember? Which means the front door was slightly open. So why didn't the so-called wellness check guy, why didn't that person go over there and open the door and go check to see what's going on? They told us the door was open, right? So these are just lies that are coming in the news desk. So it goes on, it says he pleaded with dispatchers to send someone immediately. Gene's body was later found in the kitchen, right? Even though the guy claimed that he was able to see everybody through the window, right? Law enforcement authorities called their death suspicious. So it was suspicious at first, but then y'all telling us they died of all natural causes? That's what y'all saying? Y'all got to get y'all story right. You said it was suspicious, right? You said you didn't rule out foul play, but because it's that suspicious, they have to make up some story to feed the public by telling us that Gene, which was a healthy man for 95 years of age, he was not a man with poor health, even though his age is a factor in the case. We saw a video of him walking around strong as ever. How many 95-year-old men you know walks around strong as ever, going to the store, buying coffee and possibly a box of cigarettes? You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear none of that stuff about poor health and Alzheimer's and all this other nonsense. If he have Alzheimer's, he's not shopping at the store alone. I don't want to hear these lies. I mean, y'all lie so much, it's unbelievable. Right? So it goes on, it says, law enforcement authorities called their death suspicious, noting in an application for a search warrant that there was an open prescription bottle with pills scattered near Betsy's body, and the dog was found close by. Interesting. During the subsequent search, officials retrieved thyroid medication, Tylenol, and some other medication, calcium blocker, used to treat high blood pressure and other heart-related issues. So this is what they're trying to paint. They're trying to say, see, based on the pills, what we concluded is that she was struggling with some sort of sickness. Okay, that's how we're going to paint the picture that she died. We're going to say that, right? It goes on and it says they also took medical records and 2 cell phones, right? But they didn't tell us what these cell phones had on it. They didn't give us no insight on phone calls, camera footage. They didn't show us any camera footage of them leaving the house, coming to the house. They didn't give us no information that this couple ever left the house. So that's another red flag on how the cover-up works in the case. It says officials said last week the couple had been dead for 2 days, possibly weeks, and said there was no evidence of gas leak on the premises. Morgan Freeman pretty much was honoring Gene Hackman at the awards, pretty much honoring him as an icon and a friend. Days after his death, Gene's longtime friend and co-caster Morgan Freeman spoke on stage at the Oscars to pay tribute to the late star before the memoriam section kicked off. Hackman was 95. His wife was 65. So that's pretty much the update, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it can't get no worse than this. I mean, at the end of the day, I told you guys that they were going to cover this thing up. I tell you this was an industry hit. This was a murder, a blood sacrifice ritual. They wanted Gene Hackman, and now his family, possibly his daughters, are going to inherit his wealth. And, you know, it's just really dirty, man. The game is dirty. You know, they didn't do no investigation. They really didn't do any investigation. I mean, I already did all the work. And they didn't investigate the maintenance men. They didn't investigate nobody. They just let everybody go because the job was done. You know, Gene thought he was going to be able to live out his days and die naturally, but they came to him with a blood sacrifice and took out his wife and his dog. And they want you to believe that the dog had an examination or some sort of medical thing going, and that's why the dog is dead, right? But all the other dogs, they're alive, even though they were, you know, starving for days, even though they didn't give us any proof or anything that the dogs had food, you know, because typically a dog is not going to be able to survive. I mean, if there's no food and water, that dog is going to die, you know, so all the dogs technically should have been dead if they were at that location with no food for 2-3 weeks, you know, so I'm not buying this thing. I'm not buying it. And even if the dogs were not eaten, the dogs would be malnutritious. They would be skinny, on the verge of dying. It's like there's a lot of things with this story that doesn't add up. I'm not buying the official story. I think it's one big lie to cover it up, and then it's back to business. You know, Gene is dead. They're able to confiscate what they need from his house. They can take whatever they wanted to take. You never know what the whole purpose of this was for killing him. It could have been to retrieve some files, some paperwork on somebody, some contracts, or whatever the case is. And only Gene would know, you know what I mean? His family wouldn't know. And it's just sad, man. I mean, people just getting killed left and right, and then they cover up these stories. Never trust the mainstream media because they always lie to you. It's independent journalists like myself that cover different stories and speak on certain topics. I'm not bought and paid for, so nobody can't really tell me what to say and what to do. You know, I just pretty much say what comes to mind. If it makes sense, I talk about it. If it don't, I stay quiet, you know? But I told y'all from the beginning that this was a murder hit, that it was a very orchestrated hit, and that they would cover it up. And they finally figured out what to feed the audience, what to feed the viewers, and it looks and sounds believable. I mean, that's why I told you from the beginning with the pills scattered around, they're gonna use those pills to paint a story, and they're gonna use his age and claim Alzheimer's. So they want us to believe that the wife was already dead, right? And Gene was just walking around the house and just decides that, okay, it's time for me to die too. You know, that this is what they're going to try to say. They don't have no real facts of this. They just made this stuff up. And remember, they're the professionals, so we're supposed to believe anything they tell us, right? We're not supposed to be independent thinkers. We're supposed to just believe whatever Massa tell us, whatever he say. We're supposed to be sheeple and just go with the flow. You know, so it is what it is. We're going to talk more about this later on. We're going to talk about a few things more and share our insight. I just wanted to give you a quick video, quick live, just to kind of run down this update. To you know, some of you probably already heard this already, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it to let you know that I don't agree with the official story. I think that is BS. I think they're hiding the truth, and just like they hide the truth in every murder. You're never going to get the real truth when you watch the mainstream media because they always lie. Again, they got to lie. That's just the way the world works. They just got to make up stories and keep you tuned in. That's how they get the ratings. Remember, ratings is what help these news stations to stay afloat. So they got to make it sound good and keep the people tuned in. And that's about it, y'all. So that being said, I'm going to get up on out of here. I'm going to be back later on with more content. Make sure you let me know what you think about this particular video. Do you agree with the official story? Do you believe there was foul play? And why they didn't give us no video footage? I mean, they could have showed us video footage of when they last entered the residence. They could have gave us all of this info. They could have gave the public some sort of information, even shopping centers and stores. And I mean, how were they able to obtain that video of Mr. Hackman coming out of a convenience store? I mean, who was watching him? Like, who was that person watching him, and why were they filming him at that time? Like, who drives around following a 94, 95-year-old man? What kind of creepy person does that type of stuff? You know, so obviously there's video footage. but they're not going to show us. They want us to believe that these folks were just dead in the house. Well, in order to prove that, they would have to give us video footage showing us that they were actually even at the house. You know, they didn't give us that information. So, hey, we're going to tune in. We're going to pretty much keep you posted later on with more content regarding the story. I'm going to be able to elaborate my thoughts even better because I'm going to break down another video and whatnot. And, you know, we're going to make sense of all of this stuff. But this is just another, you know, celebrity blood sacrifice murder, and they just brushed it under the rug. It's virtually impossible, ladies and gentlemen, that a wife and a husband is dead at the same time, and a dog, and they just painted all of this stuff as natural causes. The wife died of her disease, the husband died of heart disease and Alzheimer's, and the dog mysteriously, they wanted to find out about the dog, and the dog had some sort of medical procedure, and the dog just conveniently says, you know what, I got to die at the same time. You know, none of that stuff is making sense. So that's about it. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Ringo TV Reactions salute you. Y'all take care, and I'm out of here. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.